Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Seeking Discovery, where we're working on converting this school bus into a tiny house. So I realized I've been pretty bad at doing intros and outros for these videos, so I'll try to get better with them now that I'm kind of moving on, making more progress and not stuck in an endless loop. So yeah, I'll try to do better at that in future videos. Welcome to Seeking Discovery. I'm Ryan, and I have a passion for travel and building things. At the end of 2020, I decided it'd be a great idea to purchase my very own school bus to convert into a tiny house. So come along as I make mistakes, learn a lot, and make lasting memories, turning this old bus into a new tiny home. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to follow along on all the adventures. I look forward to sharing this with all of you. And as always, continue to explore every day. So today's project, now that we got all the track out of the bus, was to get the rubber up from the plywood. And now the next step will be to grind off those bolt heads that were left over so that we can get that plywood out and get down to the bare metal to treat that and get that ready for a new subfloor. So I can proudly say all of the rubber is out of the bus. So I can show you what that looks like. It's a cloudy, overcast day here in Florida, so there's not a ton of light in the bus. But if you look behind me, there's no more rubber or tracks in the floor, which is exciting. So I just got done scraping all of the floors, and probably one of the best investments I've made so far on this project has been a floor scraper. So they're designed to take tile, laminate, other things like that up off of a regular house. So I used this, which has a nice blade on it, and went by and scraped the ground to get the rubber up, and it made it go 10 times faster. So I got this one from Harbor Freight. It was like $13 here, and that is phenomenal. If you don't have a Harbor Freight near you, I'll put a link in the description to an alternative option you can get on Amazon and have delivered to you. But definitely it was worth the $13 to get it because it made this process go way faster. So as you can see down there, we've got all the scrap in a bin from the rubber, and now it's time to move on to the next task, which is taking an angle grinder to the bolt heads to get the rest of the bolts out of the wooden floor so that we can get this old plywood up and treat the bare metal, make sure it's rust free before we go and install insulation and a new subfloor. Okay, so quick little update for you guys. I know that I said I got all the rubber out, which was super easy, super quick. So now what I'm struggling with is down here. The screws that are in the plywood are stripped, so it's very difficult to get those to back out. Plus we've got the bolts from the tracks still through the plywood. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is take the circular saw, cut a groove along where the screws are and the bolts are, take out strips of the plywood, see what's left, and then either use the angle grinder or a sawzall to get under where those bolts are and see if I can just cut right through them once the wood is out of the way. So that's what we're going to attempt next. Well, things here are slowly progressing. We've gotten some of the wood out of the floor, but it is taking a little bit longer than we expected or had hoped. So the cutoff wheel on the grinder seems to be the fastest way to get the heads of the bolts out. And then now we're having issues with the screws that are holding the plywood down. They are stripped. So Caleb's doing his best to clean them out back here and try to get them to come out nicely. Otherwise, we have to take a crowbar and rip the wood up and then come back and grind those off after. So we'll see how this goes. Well, I'm calling it a day out here at the bus. Caleb and I made some really good progress. We got about half of the plywood flooring out of the bus. So another day or so of time out here, and we should have the rest of it up to start looking at converting the rust spots And somebody had asked me on social media, why go through the effort of taking the tracks out, pulling the floor up? And the answer is, just because this is a Southern bus doesn't mean that it's completely rust-free. And even from the panels we pulled up today, we have seen spots of rust, so I'm glad we're going through the effort to be able to know for certain and put a good coat of rust converter on it so that it will be good for the future and for as long as I own the bus. It is another beautiful day out here at the bus. So today, the goal is to finish grinding out the back half of the bus where all those bolts were in the floor, and then keep moving forward on the plywood that's still left. So as you can see, still have some plywood up there. We've also got the heater over there, and might attempt to disconnect and delete the heater and close the loop so that that's out of here, and then just keep working to get as much of this out as fast as possible. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or ideas as we move forward with the build. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Seeking Discovery. So come check us out on our other social media so that you can have up-to-date updates as we're going through this build and once we hit the road.